Hello and welcome to COM 3100 Small Group Communication. I'm your host, Neil Haldane. We'll be together for the next 16 weeks looking at all aspects of small group communication. So let's get started. So, why should you study small group communication? Maybe this is a required class, maybe this is something that interested you, but I think for all majors, this class could be really important. So if you look at the first 7 items on this list from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, you'll see that all the skills we'll be talking about in this class are those employers are looking for on your resume when you apply for a job. The ability to work in a team, problem-solving skills, communication skills verbal, technical skills, communication skills written, strong work ethic, and analytical and quantitative skills. We also look down, there are other ones that we're going to touch on during the class: initiative, leadership potential, detail-oriented, interpersonal skills, relating well to others, flexibility and adaptability, and computer skills. So, again, from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, they talk about communication and some of the sample behaviors that you will need when you want to start your career. Understand the importance and demonstration of verbal, written, and nonverbal body language abilities. Employ active listening, persuasion, and influencing skills. Communicate in a clear and organized manner so that others can effectively understand. Frame communication with respect to diversity of learning styles, varied individual communication abilities, and cultural differences. Ask appropriate questions for specific information from supervisors, specialists, and others. And promptly inform relevant others when needing guidance with assigned tasks. All these things will be tackled in this class during the next 16 weeks. So details about this class. Since this is a small group communication class, you will be working in small groups to study small groups. You'll produce a number of final products that you'll sort of deliver as part of a team or an individual assignments, but the process is just as important as the final product. So I want you to really analyze and use some of the skills you're going to learn from reading the textbook and some of the other information in this class to think about how well you function in a small group and how you can improve your small group behaviors. So the assignments, you're going to have 12 discussion board posts. Those are worth 240 points, 20 points each. There's 12 of them, as I mentioned just before. You need to respond to 4 people. You need to have some information in there. You need to move the conversation along. Please don't use AI to respond to people. Put your own personal thoughts into this. Talk about maybe your own group presentations that you've done in other classes or at work or as part of a team. Talk about what's going on in this class when you answer some of these questions. Feel free, and I would encourage you to sort of refer back to the textbook and include some of the vocabulary in there to show me that you know what you're talking about. All right, there'll be 4 quizzes. These will be individual quizzes, 3 of them. One is a group quiz at the end that you'll probably be doing a podcast on. You'll do 2 self-assessments worth 50 points each. So almost toward the end of the first 2 projects that you're working in small groups, you'll assess your participation in the small group and also how your small group was working. You'll do the 2 group projects. They're worth 150 points each. That's 800 points total. You can look at the syllabus to sort of get more details about how the grading breakdown occurs. Discussion board details, as I mentioned before, there are 12 of those. You'll talk about them. There is a rubric worth 20 points. You'll need to reply once early in the week so other people can look at your responses and then reply back. And so you'll probably have to check back in there maybe once or twice a week so you can apply and reply to other people. 4 quizzes. They cover the textbook chapters 1 to 3, 4 to 7, and 8 to 12. Those are individual tests that you'll be doing by yourself. The last one is Analyzing 12 Angry Men, which is sort of a classic small group movie from 1950s or so. That's probably going to be a group effort with a podcast. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be what we're doing, but I think I'm leaning 90% sure that's going to be a group effort with a podcast where you look at some of the questions about how this small group performed in this movie. The self-assessment details, you're going to be looking at yourself and detailing how well you performed as part of a group. There are 2 worksheets you need to complete. Those are individual assignments based on your work in the group. I am the only one who sees those, so you need to be honest about what you did and how your group performed. Those will be due just before the projects are due. So again, 2 group projects. Project 1, you're going to be working in a group, and these groups are going to be assigned randomly. So I think you will not know who you're going to be working with, but you'll be working with these people for the rest of the semester. So Project 1 analyzes a media portrayal of groups in a work, family, or peer settings. So maybe some movie that you watched that you can agree on as a part of a group. Maybe it's a show on Netflix. Maybe it's something that you've streamed. Something that you can agree on that has small group people acting in small groups that you all agree on, and you're going to analyze that. Project 2 requires you and your group to produce a children's book about a small group communication issue. In this assignment, you can use AI to help you sort of get things going. So think about some different ways of looking at how you can approach a small group, first or second graders, and how to communicate something about a small group communication issue. Syllabus has more information, and the calendar in this book and the Blackboard also has more information about the class. Deadlines are throughout the semester. You're starting this week with the introduction and reading chapter 1, and your first discussion board is due at the end of the week. These are the key concepts you may want to think about from chapter 1. Chapter slides are in every folder that has something related to that chapter. So competent communication, effectiveness and appropriateness, your competence in knowledge, skills, sensitivity, commitment, and ethics, honesty, respect, fairness, choice, and responsibility. So some of the key concepts that might be appearing on the test in a few weeks. Okay. This class is totally online, so you're going to be using technology throughout. You'll probably need to figure out a way to communicate with your group outside of Blackboard. So I don't know if you want to do some kind of group chat or work in Microsoft Teams. You also have all the tools here in Blackboard, from Zoom to the discussion boards. Again, I'll assign the groups probably pretty quickly in the next week or so you'll know who you're working with moving forward. Good luck with this class, and I look forward to hearing from you throughout the semester.